kindly greet those that have joined us?
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, Madam Assetti, management and staff of NERSA, as well as the members of the public that are following us through the various live streaming platforms. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. And we also have Ms. Nofundo Massetti, who is the member of this particular committee and the chairperson of the pipe gas subcommittee and electricity subcommittee. And she also sits on other subcommittees and as well as committees of the energy regulator. Ms. Massetti, may you kindly greet those that have joined us today.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning to Mr. Mkhize, and good morning to the members of the public who may have joined us to observe today's proceedings. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Ms. Massetti. And we then move on to the agenda that has been set for our meeting today. We have 3 agendas that have been set for the open session, and the rest are for a closed session. And on that note, members, may I get an indication that you do adopt the agenda as presented before us by show of hands, please. Thank you, Ms. Massetti, and thank you, Mr. Mkhize. I also support the adoption of the agenda as presented to us. We then move on to the first item that is for the open session, which is item 5. It is the decision and reasons for decision for the multi-year application by Rima Vuso Investment Pty Ltd for its petroleum storage facility in Secunda, which is in the Mpumalanga province. Ms. Mtwa, you may introduce, otherwise, in the interest of time, you can just direct the committee as to who is going to lead the committee with the presentation of that particular item. Over to you, ma'am.
Chair, it's Mr. Unted. Ms. Msomi will be introducing the matter.
Apologies, you did indicate to us that Ms. Mtwa is not available. Ms. Msomi, over to you, and kindly take the presentation as having been read. Highlight points that you believe needs to be highlighted to the members of the committee. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, members, management, and the members of the public. The purpose of this submission is to request the RC members to approve the tariff applied for by Rima Vuso Investment for its petroleum storage facility in Secunda, Mpumalanga province for the period of 1 March 2025 to 28 February 2026, and approve the decisions and the reasons for decision document attached here to as an Annexure A. It should be noted that this is the first tariff application by Rima Vuso following the issuing of its operational license approved on 19 May 2025 by NERSA. Rima Vuso's initial submission was submitted on 13 February 2025. Several engagements were held with the licensee, including the proposal to submit a multi-year tariff application. However, the licensee required an additional time to build capacity to comply fully with the methodology. The detailed assessment of the tariff application is provided from page 10 of the submission. NERSA determined a tariff of 13.11 cents per litre for the period of 2025-26 financial year, which is approximately 1.39% lower than the tariff applied for by Rima Vuso. The differences between NERSA's determination and Rima Vuso's submission are merely due to NERSA applied the forecasted CPI to trend asset values, where else Rima Vuso did not trend its assets. The difference in networking capital values are merely due to different method used for estimating trade payables and differences in AR values used to calculate the trade receivables, and differences in weighted average cost of capital and the resulting tax calculation contributed to variation in allowable revenue. It is therefore recommended that the RSA members approve the tariff applied for by Rima Vuso for its petroleum storage facility in Secunda for the period of 1 March 2025 to 28 February 2026, and approve the decisions and the reasons for decision document attached here to as Annexure A. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Ms. Msomi. Members, any questions or issues of clarity in relation to this particular application? Show of hand. I think from my side, Ms. Msomi, I do not have any issues with the application, but I just wanted to get some clarification in terms of our monitoring processes, because I noted that the company was registered in 2019 and we only issued them with a license in 2025. So through our monitoring processes, I just wanted to check if we didn't pick up that this was a new entrant, and therefore then we needed to inform them to apply for the license that was required, because I see the timing from 2019 to 2025 being really long for us to pick up that there is a participant or there is a new entrant that needs to be licensed, and we did not do that. So yeah, I just wanted to get that clarity. Otherwise, I do support the recommendations. I see Mr. Untit, your hand is up. You may come in.
Chair, I'm responding because it's more of a licensing matter to support the team. Indeed, the compliance team picked up this application during a routine manner in trying and enforcing and doing checks. So they then advised NERSA that they were not aware that they had to be licensed. They had a different understanding. We then assisted them. They've applied and then was issued with the license. So there was a period that they constructed the facility. They did not get a construction license, and that was also articulated in the decision and the reasons for decision, their failure to do so. They've since been onboarded, and I think they are now compliant. But yeah, your assessment was correct that there was a period where they did not comply with the legislation.
Okay. Excuse me. Thank you for that response. Any other issue, members, that you may want to have or that you have on this particular application? I don't see any hand. On that note, may I request that we move on to the recommendations? The recommendations are on page 11 to page 12 of the green stamped numbers, and the recommendations are that the REC is requested to approve the tariff of 13.29 cents per litre applied for by Remabuso for its petroleum storage facility in Secunda, Mpumalanga province. And this tariff is for a period, or this tariff is for a period starting from 1 March 2025 to 28 February 2026, and that the REC approves the decision and reasons for decision that are attached as Annexure A. By show of hand, members, can I get an indication that you do approve the recommendations as presented under paragraph 14? Thank you, Ms. Msiti. Thank you, Ms. Mkhize. I also support. We then move on to the next item, which is also under the Petroleum Pipeline Regulation, and it is BP Southern Africa Pty Ltd's audited regulatory financial reports for its petroleum storage facilities for the period 1 January 2024 to the 31st December 2024. Mr. Sintimule, Martin, you can guide us as to who is going to present this particular submission to the committee.
Chair, as far as I know, it's also the same presenter than the previous submission, Ms. Msomi.
Okay, that's fine. You may proceed, Ms. Msomi.
Thank you, Chair. The purpose of the submission is to request the REC to note BPSA's audited regulatory financial reporting for the period of 1 January 2024 to 31 December 2024 for its petroleum storage facilities in Cape Town and Pretoria, submitted in compliance with the requirements of the Regulatory Reporting Manual Volume 1. The audited RFRs were considered adequate on August 2025 after receipt of additional information requested. We have assessed the RFRs focusing on the comparison of actuals against the estimates used in the tariff calculation to determine the clawback determination provided on page 4 to page 6 of the submission, and evaluation of the audited regulatory financial reporting through ratio analysis, assessing BPSA profitability, liquidity, capital structure, and efficiency provided on page 6 to page 10. It is therefore recommended that the committee notes BPSA's RFRs for its petroleum storage facility in Cape Town and Pretoria for the period of 1 January 2024 to 31 December 2024 financial period. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, ma'am. Members, any questions, issues of clarity, or points of enhancements that you may have in relation to the submission? If you have any, please do raise your hand and I'll recognize you to make your input. I don't seem to be seeing any hand from the members, and I don't have any comments from my side as well. I will therefore then request that we move on to the recommendations, which are on page 11, paragraph 68. And the recommendation is that the REC is requested to note BPSA's regulatory financial report for the period 1 January 2024 to the 31st of December 2024 for its storage facilities in Cape Town and in Pretoria, which are submitted in compliance with the requirements of the RRM's Volume 1. By show of hands, members, can I get an indication that you support the noting of this particular submission? Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Thank you, Ms. Maseti. I also support. We don't move on to the next item, which is our last item for the open session, which relates to the regulation of the electricity industry. And it is a report on the noting of the quarterly report on the registered facilities approved in the second quarter of the 2025-26 financial year. Over to you, and Tate Matebula, if you can take members through this item, seeing that Mr. Mkhize Jr. is attending to other NESA business. Can you take members through? Thank you.
Not a problem, Chair. Thank you very much, and good morning to you and the members and everyone on the call. I will try and save you time, Chair. The report is for noting, and this is particularly for the second quarter of this financial year, where we are reporting on the number of generation facilities that have been registered by the regulator. And this is as per standing instruction of the energy regulator. So, Chair, we wanted to indicate that for quarter two, we have processed a registration of 181 facilities, and this brings the total number of facilities registered through the regulator to 2,236. That is from the year 2018 up until the second quarter of 2025, with equivalent capacity of 16,040 megawatts. We also want to bring to the attention of the members that based on this, we have seen that the preferred technology remains the solar PV, and we are seeing a lot of investment in this technology in the province of the Western Cape, followed by a province of Limpopo, as well as Gauteng, based on number of facilities, but based on capacity in megawatts. We are seeing the Western Cape being the highest, Actually, it's the only province that has registered above 200 megawatts to date or on the quarter. The rest of the provinces were below 200 megawatts. So there is a lot of investment through this technology happening in the Western Cape. Chair, I also would therefore want to take you to the quarterly comparison in terms of the time taken to process this application for registration. We have seen a continuous improvement compared to the previous year. And on average, this quarter, we have done all the processing of this registration within 10 days. And we trust that we will continue to improve on that. I also want to bring to the attention of the members that we are also looking at a more efficient process, possibly totally automating the process. But it's the discussion that we are still having with the IT to assist with that. One of the challenges that we encountered, Chair, in regard to this was that sometimes the registrants would not be in a hurry to complete a process. But we have taken a position that where there is such delays, we will cancel the process and start it afresh. But we would have notified the registrants in terms of how quick we want to actually turn around the processing. There is a recent event where we waited for weeks for a registrant to provide us with proof of payment, and that delayed the finalization of the processing. But those are some of the challenges that we encounter, which impact on the time we take to process these applications. But it was within us, our control, to manage that together with the stakeholders. The recommendations, Chair, are on page 6, and it is again to note the progress year to date, Chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Matebula. Members, any questions, issues of clarity or points of enhancements that you may have on this particular submission? Yes, Mr. Mkize, may come in.
Thanks, Chairperson. Thanks, Mr. Matebula. I think first one is to congratulate the team for the improvement when it comes to the processing timelines. The turnaround times look very good. Keep up the good work. I would also like to emphasize maybe the need for the team to consider looking at the investment as to how much it actually goes into the SA economy vis-a-vis what goes to the imports part of the investment, so that one can get a better picture in terms of these financial figures being bandied around. And then thirdly, I would appreciate if the team, whether in the next report or if they do maybe an annual report on this, to also include the some insights or observations, because it's not just important to get what is happening, but to understand what the implications are and what regulatory impact those have, as well as what course of action NERSA needs to take or NERSA needs to recommend to other authorities as well as government in the space. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mkize. And I also want to echo the sentiment that you have made with regard to the improvements in turnaround times in terms of processing the application. And I think it is highly appreciated, Mr. Matebula, to you and your team, and as well as the FTRM. So if we can keep it up and really strive to to also further improve on it, that will be appreciated. And I think for me, one of the points that we have made in terms of delays in getting information from the applicants that you have highlighted, I think that delay has an impact on us as an organization and also on the audit process. And if the suggestion that you have made to say that if there is a delay after we have given an applicant a particular period to really respond, we would then take the applicant, we'll take the application and remove it from the list, such that we really do not get an indication from the audit process that we are delaying the processing of the application, whereas it is a delay from the applicant's side. So if we can look at that and how we can properly address it without really taking our responsibility of trying to also engage the applicants and guide them and assist them in terms of what needs to be submitted by NERSA. But if we have done all of that and it fails, we need to really make a decision to say we are removing them. Otherwise, it has a negative impact on us as an organization. If that can be looked into, I will appreciate it, and also so that you can share what you are doing as a division in relation to that for record purposes. On that note, you may come in if you have anything to respond to the inputs that have been made by members. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, Chair, I need to indicate that the inputs and comments are appreciated, and we will look at the matters that were indicated, and we appreciate the support of the FTRM as well in processing this quicker, and also all the members of management as well as the members of this committee. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Matebula. On that note, members, the recommendations are on page 6, the green stamped page 6, paragraph 14. And the recommendation is that the REC notes the quarterly report on the registered generation facilities approved in the second quarter of the 2025-26 financial year in terms of the standing instruction number 9 of the electricity subcommittee delegation matrix. By show of hand, members, can I get an indication that you do support the noting of the second quarter report? And thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Thank you, Ms. Maseti. I also support. And on that note, that was the last item that was for our open session of the meeting. Let me take this opportunity to thank the members of the REC, NERSA management and support staff, and as well as members of the public that have joined us on various platforms. Thank you so much for joining us. We have come to the end